Hey everybody, Amy here. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be mixing all of my soil. I'm going to show you how I do it, what products I use, and how I mix it. So we're going to get ready to mix that now. Okay everybody, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be mixing the soil. So I have my big blue pot that I'm going to be mixing in. We used to have like a bigger bin that we mixed it in, but I don't even know what we did with that. We don't have it anymore. I do also have my mask. I don't know if you guys remember in one of the videos after I mixed the peat moss, I accidentally left it on. When you're mixing the peat moss, there's an aeration and a dust that comes up that's really not good for you to breathe in. You know, when you're scattering it on stuff and once it's mixed, it's not as dusty, but it's just not really good to breathe that in. So I'll be wearing the mask once I add the peat moss. The first thing that we're going to put in the pot is an organic raised bed potting soil. That's what I use. I get it from a big box store. You know, I'm not monetary. I don't get paid by anything or sponsored by anything, so I'm not going to say any of the names of the soil that I use, but it is specifically made for raised bed. It's safe for animals. It's specifically made for fruits and vegetables and herbs. Flowers, things like that. I've been using it for the last couple of years. It works really well. It has perlite in it, has moss in it, like the peat moss, has sphagnum in it. It also has pine bark. It's just a really good one. It drains really well and it just does really well. For instance, if you have mushrooms growing in your soil that you are planting like vegetables and things in, don't worry about that. You know, you can pull them out if you want, but all that means is that your soil is very healthy. So for instance, last year when we had our tomatoes and peppers in the raised bed that I have my potatoes in now, once it got warmer and throughout the growing season, we had sporadic different little mushrooms growing in there that we just pulled out, but it just is a good sign. So the first thing we're going to put in is the soil. Okay, so I realized I did not have my gloves or my shovel. The bag is just a little bit too heavy for me to lift up. They're always kind of damp. They usually do get drier, but it had been raining before I went and bought it, so it was heavy when I got it at the store. It's going to take a long time with the little shovel, but hopefully I can pick it up. Pour it in there. Nope, it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to pick it up. So I'm going to just use my hands, get more in there at a time without the gloves on. Without the shovel. Once it gets lower, I'll be able to pick it up. I'll have to do the same thing with the peat moss and the manure. So you want it to be mostly soil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the pot up almost halfway with the soil. And you got to make sure that you leave space at the top of your pot to do the actual mixing. The next thing that we're going to put in is going to be the compost, and that's been sitting out here, so it's pretty heavy. And there's usually big chunks. You can leave the chunks big or you can break them up. They'll get broken up a lot when you put it in. So I'm going to put in probably about 6 shovels full of the compost. Okay. Break up some of the bigger pieces. Okay. And then next, all my bags are new, so they're so heavy. I always have my knife with me. Next is going to be manure. We're only going to put in 3 handfuls of that. Manure is very strong. And then now we're gonna put in the peat moss. So now I'm gonna put on my mask. The peat moss is still in my wagon. I'm trying to get it off of it. I should have been a little bit better prepared before I started the video, but hey, you know, like I told y'all before, I'm no professional at videoing. And the peat moss bag is always so full. I don't know if you can see, probably don't see the dust coming up from it in the video, but so we're going to want to put in a good probably 10 handfuls of the peat moss. And you know, you are going to lose some. Let's always do it in my yard, so if I do lose it out of the pot or the bag, it at least goes in the yard and just gives nutrition to the yard. So now we're going to just mix it with our hands. And I like to mix this all together before I put the nutrients in, because we're going to pre-mix nutrients in the soil, which is what I also do. My shirt keeps going down. We don't want that. All right, so I'm going to just continue mixing this, and then I'll be back once I get the nutrients in. Okay, so we've got that all mixed. I'm going to take my mask off. It's so hot. I can't breathe. I'll wait till I'm mixing the rest of the stuff. So the first thing we're going to put in is we're going to sprinkle some Epsom salt. You just want to grab like a handful, and you're just going to sprinkle it around. Now the Epsom salt, you don't need to put too much in. I usually put about 2 handfuls in, because the Epsom salt, like I've told y'all before, it is the salt of the earth. And when you're feeding your plants, that's something we'll constantly be feeding it. So the next thing that we're going to add is earthworm castings. I'm going to have to get some more of these. I've been putting them in the potatoes. So we're going to just do a handful of the earthworm castings. Put those in there. Then the next thing we're going to put in is blood meal. And it's organic blood meal. Everything I use is organic. Like I told you guys, I don't like to use pesticides. I don't use any Miracle-Gro. We're going to put a handful of that in, because that's nitrogen. Blood meal is high in nitrogen, so you need it, but you don't want too much unless you're actually planting very high nutrient wanting plants, basically. The next thing we're going to mix in is the fertilizer. We're going to do a handful of that. The next thing is some active plant food. Now this one bag I have is almost empty, so I'm just going to pour the rest of it in there. And then now we want to put our mask back on, because some of the aeration of the dust aeration from the peat moss is going to come out. I should have probably put my microphone on for this. Hopefully you guys can hear me good enough. You'll probably have to turn up the volume. Let me fix my shirt. And then, so we're going to just mix this in real good. There, now you can see the mixing better. And you just want to keep going down to the bottom and pulling it up to the top. You want to get all of the nutrients and food and Epsom salt that we just put in there. You want to get it all mixed throughout the soil. Now this soil is what we're going to be using to put on the potatoes, which we're going to do next. I may make this, the mixing of this soil, maybe its own little short video. Breaking up some of those compost pieces. Some of the bigger ones, I like to break them up You just want to make sure that you're getting all the way down to the bottom so that it's all mixed really well. There's another big piece of compost. Oh, actually, that's like a bark piece. You'll want to leave that in there. It's like a big piece of bark. I thought it was compost. Looked like it. There's that big piece of bark. I keep trying to break it up. You just want to keep mixing, keep mixing. There's now all mixed. And that's how easy it is to make your soil. So I hope you guys enjoyed my soil making video. Like I said, I know that this is going to be a rather long video, so I'm going to have to break them up. I know the intro of my garden update video is going to be talking about all the things we're going to do today. I'm going to probably have to break them up into little videos. But so mixing the soil is very, very important that you mix it well. You want to make sure when you're growing vegetables that you have the 4 main components, and that is going to be a good nutrient organic soil that's going to drain well. Even if you're going to be using it on the ground, they say it's best used it on the ground, but I have used the organic soil in the ground. Usually I'll put it, we have very nutrient rich dirt here in Georgia, but so I will, when I dig the hole, which you'll see today, I'm going to actually, well, in the other video with the cucumbers, I'm going to actually dig the hole and put the soil in the hole for the cucumbers so that they have that nutrient soil. But you want a good, very good graded organic soil. The next thing that you want to get is make sure that you get a really good manure. They only have one at the main big box store that most people go to. And so, like I said, I'm not going to name any of them, but it comes in a yellow bag. It's really, really good manure. And then you can just get any compost. Usually they only have one type of compost at the big box store. And then your peat moss. Peat moss is very, very, very important for all vegetables, especially tomatoes. Tomatoes thrive off of peat moss, but what peat moss does is it helps to allow the plants to absorb nutrients from the soil, and it helps to keep the soil where it drains well. Some people will add extra perlite, but the soil that I buy already has perlite in it. Some people make their soil from scratch where they just use compost, manure, peat moss, pine bark, and perlite. You can do that as well. Me, I just really depend on the one organic soil I use, so I just use that one. But so I hope you guys like this video of the soil. Like I said, it's going to be its own separate one. Please like and subscribe if you like the video. Make sure that you share it with friends. You know, it helps my channel to grow for the algorithm with YouTube if you smash the like button. I do appreciate if you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, you know, and just for watching. And thank you for watching my video. But I hope that you guys have a great blessed day, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.